Hey, what's up guys? Rami here with your second stimulus check update and second stimulus package update for Tuesday, September 8th. Today is the day we finally see the Senate back in session. It's about time. They've been on vacation for a month now while the American people are struggling and suffering. Senate Republicans are finally set to release their skinny bill this week, and we'll see where it goes from there. Democrats are losing leverage each and every day that goes by because of President Trump's actions and the reopening of the economy. And Nancy Pelosi gave us a gem of a statement that I can't wait to see what you guys think about it. And by the way, thank you so much for the tons of birthday wishes on my video yesterday. I really appreciate it, and I really appreciate all of you. I got some of the sweetest comments from you guys. Thank you so much for all your support and kindness. Now let's get to all the stimulus updates we have for today. Right after you please hit the like button on the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, so I can update you on everything regarding the second stimulus check and stimulus package, plus more money and finance news. Finally, the Senate is back in session, and now it's time for us to see what this skinny bill that we've been talking about for a couple of weeks now will actually include. We know it's projected to be around a $500 billion bill, which is half of the HEALS Act already presented by Senate Republicans that they didn't even vote on because they didn't think they have enough support for it within their own party, which is just very sad. They don't think that the American people need a second stimulus package. It is difficult for them to understand because they're making hundreds of thousands of dollars and never missed a paycheck during this whole pandemic. Regardless, we're still going to see the small stimulus package soon, and the expectation here is that it will include unemployment boost at about $300 or $400 per week until the end of the year. We'll see a second round of PPP money for small businesses, which is very much needed to keep millions of small businesses afloat, which will also help the employees working at those small businesses by keeping them employed and paying them with that PPP money. We also expect the $105 billion for schools, which now Democrats are saying the $105 billion is what was needed back in May. Now we need $200 billion. So they're just going to make these negotiations harder. We'll also see some money for testing and vaccines, and most likely the small bill will also include liability protections that the Republicans have been asking for months now. So what about stimulus checks? Unfortunately, all the predictions say that this skinny bill will not include a second round of stimulus checks, but most likely will be something that gets added on as part of the negotiations. If the Republicans want to pass anything, they're going to have to add the stimulus checks in there. Mitch McConnell said he fully supports stimulus checks. Mark Meadows, the White House Chief of Staff, said they support stimulus checks. Steve Mnuchin said that we need stimulus checks and he's ready to send them out very fast this time. And President Trump wants a second round of stimulus checks. Like I said in yesterday's video, President Trump is so ready to send out second stimulus checks that he's willing to repurpose $300 billion that are sitting in some fund and use them to send out stimulus checks to the American people. The $1,200 stimulus checks for adults and $500 for dependents that went out the last time under the CARES Act cost just about $300 billion. So it is funny to me that there is just $300 billion just sitting there in some account that's not being used. Did they just find that account, or what's really going on here? I'm sure the government has all these kinds of accounts with hundreds of billions of dollars, but let's see if they can truly use that money for that purpose. Because hey, they can maybe vote on the $500 billion bill that doesn't have the stimulus checks and say we'll do that, plus we'll approve the repurposing of the $300 billion to fund the second round of stimulus checks. That would be a great deal in my opinion. But we know the Democrats don't want such skinny bills, and Nancy Pelosi wants a blank check for $2.2 trillion without telling Mark Meadows or Steve Mnuchin on what she wants to use that money for. She just wants them to agree on $2.2 trillion. Then they can see what that includes later. Honestly, to me, that's just a joke. Just see what you need, what programs you want to fund, add them all up, and that should be the cost of the stimulus package, not the other way around. That's just my opinion though. The problem is Democrats keep losing leverage for large stimulus package because the economy is doing well. Or should I say just doing better. Each month that passes by, the data keeps getting better and better. Things were looking terrible back in July, and when the June jobs came back positive, we all said this is outdated information, now things are much worse. But then the July jobs report came back better than June, and the August jobs report that just came out last Friday was even better. And remember, in August, we didn't have stimulus money helping out like unemployment money that had expired in July already. And the economy added 1.4 million jobs, bringing the unemployment rate all the way down to 8.4%. Economists predicted it won't fall under 10% before the end of the year and potentially sometime next year. So this was a big surprise. It is very good news to see people getting their jobs back and the economy somewhat getting back on its feet. But you have to think this gives more leverage to the Republicans, who have been saying, we do not need more stimulus, just open up the economy and things will bounce back on its own. Listen, it's still huge numbers and we still have 28 million people who are unemployed, but we'll have to see how all these things play out in the negotiations during this week and potentially next couple of weeks. Now, Nancy Pelosi issued a statement about the August jobs report saying, the August jobs report highlights the continuing urgent need for action as the economic recovery stimulated by Congress's early and robust investments continues to slow down. More than 6 months into the crisis, tens of millions are still out of work. Sadly, Republicans continue to demonstrate their utter contempt for the lives and livelihoods of millions of Americans who are being devastated by Republicans' deadly inaction. The White House and Senate Republicans have made clear that they still do not comprehend the scale of this disaster or the urgent needs of our communities and the American people. House Democrats have come to the negotiating table willing to compromise, and we will continue reaching out until we achieve a fair agreement that meets the needs of all Americans. Then she goes on to say House Democrats passed our HEROES Act 112 days ago to deliver the testing, tracing, and treatment to crush the virus, relief for our state and local communities in crisis, and money in the pockets of the American people. The longer Republicans continue to deny and delay, the more expensive the pandemic will be to the health and economic security of America's working families. There is no time to waste. Now again, I've said this many times before, I'm not taking any sides here, but come on now, she can't be serious here. She's saying that Republicans and the White House are in denial and not doing anything for the American people. In reality, while she is hardlining in negotiations and not wanting to budge, President Trump took action by putting out executive orders for payroll tax cuts, $300 per week for unemployment, student loan relief, delayed evictions until the end of the year with the CDC order last week, and giving additional food aid until the end of the year for children who are 18 years or younger. All this was done by the president alone. And then Nancy Pelosi says House Democrats are willing to compromise and will continue to reach out. How is that true? She doesn't want to budge from the $2.2 trillion. The $1.3 trillion deal that Mark Meadows and Steve Mnuchin offered has everything we need right now, from stimulus checks, unemployment, testing and vaccines, PPP money, money for schools, and more. But she said no, no, no. Even hundreds of her Democrats in the House asked her to compromise, and she still said no. So what do you guys think about this statement that Nancy Pelosi put out? Do you think it makes any sense, or she's really the one stopping help for the American people because she wants an unreasonable $1 trillion for state and local government? Let me know what you think about all this in the comments below. I'm really curious to see what you guys have to say about all of this. Thank you so much for watching. Please hit the like button on the video, subscribe if you haven't already, and click the notifications bell to be notified whenever I publish new videos for you. And make sure to check out the link in the description below for the SoFi Money account. It is a checking/savings account, not a stocks account, not an investment account. If you open an account using the link below and deposit $500, you will receive a $50 bonus. Then you can refer your family and friends and get $50 from every referral up to $10,000 per year. Also, don't forget to get your free stock from Robinhood and one free stock from Webull, potentially worth up to $1,600 When you deposit only $100, which is just like cash, you can take it out anytime you feel like it. Links are in the description below. Please stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll see you in the next video.